All right, everybody. It is Monkeypuzzle again. That is I, he is me. I have no idea if any of that grammar is correct, but it's time for episode 3, playing Unabridged, Minecraft Unabridged on the Primus server with, I think, 16... There's 16 Primus members now. Not everybody's playing, but it has grown quite a bit. There's a few of us on right now. And I got a plan for the day. I got a plan. So I got a few things to catch you up on. I've done some stuff. I tried not to do too much. But first, I wanted to show you this chest right here. The plan revolves around this. This is an Enderman spawner that Nonsanity, he snagged it from there, from that roguelike dungeon down under there somewhere. They always have an Enderman spawner in there, and he used it for a bit. But he was also gracious enough that he offered it up for me to make a community spawner for. So I'm going to make one in town today, and I've got a big plan for that, but it involves starting Botania. So we're going to get into that in a second. But first, I want to catch you up with a few things that I've done already. I reconfigured this some. I didn't make any new machines. I did make a list of machines that I want to make. Oh yeah, I made this an iron door with a player detector. But yeah, I want to make all these. But so much to do this episode. I think this one's probably going to be a multi-part episode as it is, that I will save that. But I'm dying to do all those things, although really not that big of a deal at this point. I mean, you've seen me do a lot of this stuff, so I'm not sure how much I should do on camera and how much I can just go ahead and do. You guys should let me know what you'd like, because I'm not sure all of you who are watching if you've seen me do all this stuff before, but a lot of it I've done multiple times before, like starting Botania. So I've done that on camera at least twice, and a bunch of the other people on the server have done it this series as well. So what I'm going to do for the Botania today is we're going to go real quick. I'm going to do a lot of cuts as I start. I'm going to show it to you, but I'm not going to do like a uncut thing that takes 30 minutes or whatever. We're going to try to blast through it so we can move on to actually making the Enderman spawner. But a few other things I've done here, I reconfigured this like I was starting to say. I didn't make any new machines, but I did a little bit. Well, actually, I did make 4 Sterling generators to add to the power production coming from the heat generators that are buried back in there. And the other thing I've added is, well, I reconfigured the wiring, and I've added a bunch of hardened energy cells. So now each of the heat generators has its own hardened energy cell, because they don't generate very much power at once, but they keep trickle charging over time. So the best way to use them is to keep storing up that energy, and then when you need to use it in a burst, you have it. And then, so the energy that comes from them has to go to these first, and then it comes out here. And the same with the energy from the Sterling generator, which is kind of my generator backup for... Oop. By the way, all my we just updated the server, and all my keys have changed, so I'm going to have to be reconfiguring those as I go along. which is a little goofy. But anyway, yeah, so I've been smelting charcoal from wood from a bunch of trees I've been cutting down over here. Yeah. I had my 2 tree pads here, and now I've also just got this giant mass of trees over there. So, yeah, been cutting it all down and turning it into charcoal. And then this has got to the point now where these are all charged up. And this bank of 6 up here, they don't run any of these machines here at all. These just charge up with extra power, and then I can take these off and go use them for other projects. Like when I make the digital miner, we'll have 6 hardened energy cells full of power ready to go. So that's 2 million RF times 6, so 12 million RF, which probably won't last that long, but it's a start. It's a start for whatever. So it's just a little battery charging bank to keep that getting used. The other thing I've done is I've made a bunch more tools. I think I had these already, but I also, well, at least I made a cleaver and a longsword, and the longsword is really fun. I'll show you that in a minute, but I've also leveled up this stuff quite a bit. I've been putting lapis and redstone on this hammer, and it's also leveled up quite a bit from, well, that's what allowed me to put the modifiers on it, and so that's been good. I ducked into the nether a couple times, and I've got some quartz and some glowstone and some netherrack and stuff. I didn't get any blaze rods yet because there's no more blaze spawners in the nether fortress that is by the portal. And I don't want to just go into somebody else's spawner and take blaze rods, even though that's been offered. That's no fun. So we'll have to figure out another way to get blaze rods. I know there's some blaze spawners in the roguelike dungeon. My sprint key has changed too. Dang it, Bolt, changing the keys on me. All right, well, anyway, we'll work with that. I'm sure there's other things I could show you. I did a bunch of mining, and so I've been building up. Some of it's in here. Some of it's down in this chest behind this crafting station that just helps me craft things and stuff. I've got my little nexus here of crates for just making stuff, storing more things. And there's probably more to tell you, but that's good enough for now. So with no further ado, let's jump into Botania. So, no, that's the wrong crate. Right here. I've done some running around and gathering flowers. A lot of the textures of the flowers have changed. I wasn't sure if it's a reskin of Botania or it's from the Unity pack, Unity resource pack that comes with this pack that I'm using for now because it's a nice change. I managed to gather these just running around. Wayla was my friend in that. And the great thing about being on the highland is these are the only flowers that grow. So running around on the highland, if there's a flower, chances are it is Botania. So we're going to need some of these to start with. This is for we got to make some pure white daisies, or at least one. And we got to make some day blooms to start with. So that's these right here. And that's going to be the beginning. I had some other plants up here. I'll have to remember what I'm doing. There's a lot of busyness going on in chat right now, but I'm not even paying attention to what's going on down there. Hopefully that's all good. So the first thing we need to do, oh yeah, and I need to grab some extra flowers too. You saw my stairs burn up last time. I've been replacing them with soul brick stairs from Botania. I'll get these replaced as soon as I have enough soul bricks. This is just a stone brick surrounded by soul sand. I thought they looked kind of cool, kind of dirt-like, but also kind of brick-like. So, oh yeah, I was grabbing. What do I have a lot of extra of? Seems like I got a lot of magenta. So this will be our extra one of choice. And these, you just throw them in here, and you get petals. And you throw these in here, and you get petals. And so, let's go ahead, make pure white daisy. But first, we got to make our petal apothecary, and I need another piece of cobble. Be right back. Okay, so there is the petal apothecary. That's very cool. Oh yeah, and I also made this golden bag of holding, which has my buckets in them. So among other things, so that gave me a little storage. It's not reincarnating yet, but it will be. So let's go ahead and put this down. Oop, and get that and fill that up. So the first thing we got to do is throw some of these in here. Let me see if I can pull this off. Yep, and then throw a seed in. And we've got our pure daisy. Let's do that again. And, oop, did I not throw enough? Oh, I forgot to put water. Silly me. And I'm grabbing my stuff. Second try. There we go. 2 pure white daisies. So that's excellent. And then we need some wood and some stone. Alright, I was trying to figure out where to do this, and I've got, there's a big expanse down here, but Botania, it's best if it's like near you where you can just keep running out and tweaking with it. So I've got this whole nice roof space I thought would be good for Botania. There's not a whole lot of soil on it, but this side of the peak looked like it was sliced off. So I was thinking we could use this side and just kind of like flesh it out and make a lot of space to plant flowers. So just kind of build it out. Alright, well that's a bit of a start right now, so then we can go ahead and take these and throw them down. I'll change this around as I go, but these just need enough space to make a ring around them. And maybe this one needs to go too. And then we just throw down some stone, like so. Gotta remember to put all my torches back so I don't get mobs up here at night. And some wood. And with the magic of editing, it now turns into living rock and living wood. So that's cool. I'm going to set that up again. And, oop, I got to be careful with that. I could do that. Azo. Okay, so the next order of business is we need to generate some mana. So to do that, I think you always got to start with day blooms, and those are made with yellow, orange, and light blue, right? Light blue, yeah. And again, I got to just turn these into petals. In order to make them, it's 2 yellows to 1 each of these. So it looks like I can make about 9 of them, which is a start. But before I do that, I want to make, I think it goes like that, or maybe it goes like that. Ah, darn. Okay, let me look it up. Ah, it's the planks. Okay, so I got to take the living wood and turn it into planks. So we'll just turn this whole set into planks, and we'll make a bunch of these because these always come in handy. So those are the open crates, and what these do is they drop stuff. They drop stuff right where you want them. If I could place stuff right where I want it. No. All right, never fear. We can put the open crate right there above it, and then we just need to place a hopper pointing into the open crate, and we are good to go. So now I don't have to worry about my clumsiness dropping stuff in here and picking them back up and everything. I think I have to throw them in the order I want. 2 yellows, a blue, and an orange, and a seed. Bam, we got our first day bloom. So now I can just keep repeating that. 1, 2, 1, 2, oop, oop. And if I was really good, oh, of course, I have to remember the part where I put in the water. That one is not automatic yet until I get an Everfull urn or something like that, which I'm not even sure is in this pack. Bam, second day bloom on the ground. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing that until I've made all the day blooms we can make. All right, last one. Seed. Got 9 day blooms. And let's just make a few things real quick. Take some of our living rock and make our first mana pool. And actually, let's make 2. That's what we'll need to start with. And then also, we're going to need 1, 2, 3 twigs. So let's make those. And that's going to make our first wand, which will be magenta. Our wand of the forest. Excellent. So let's get this day bloom thing happening. Nowadays, it turns out these are going to despawn, which is kind of a drag. I was counting on using hydrangeas as my default power source, but it turns out that the hydrangeas are also considered passive. So these, the night blooms and the hydrangeas, they'll work for a while, but they won't last very long at all. Unknown status. Why is your status unknown? What's this mode on? Function mode, bind mode. We need to make one of these. A mana spreader. And then the mana spreader will go here. Where's my pick? Pick. The mana spreader will go there. Mana pool can go anywhere. And then we just make sure that this is bound to that, which it is. And then now if we mouse over all these, why aren't you bound to there? Go ahead and bind. Okay, almost got them all successfully bound to this. It's not acting right because it's okay, that's good. It's just a little finicky, but you just got to right click on the flower with this in bind mode, and then it's shift right click on the flower, and then shift right click on the spreader. And this is going to slowly fill, and now I can dump that in there, and I get a real mana pool. So we can kill this one and put this one down, and then now, do I need to rebind this? No, it's good. We need to wait because this is going to take a good little while to give us any appreciable amount of mana. And while that's happening, I'm going to clear my inventory, but then I'm going to run off to this volcano over here and grab a bunch of basalt because Brink requested a Gothic tower over there. I've got a couple other materials in mind, but I think basalt will make a good Gothic tower. So I'm going to run over there and gather some of that, and I'll be back and we'll continue. All right, so here I am on top of that volcano. Turns out there's another one over there. And they used to have lava on top of them. Now they have this stuff called cracked basalt. So I don't want to mess the thing up. So I'm going to go down a little bit. Oh, there is some lava in there. Okay, that's how it works. So I'll just go over here somewhere. I'm just going to burrow in a little bit and then start mining because I don't want to actually mess the volcano up. So I'll go in here and then I'll start with my excavation. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit after I've gathered a bunch of basalt. Alrighty. I have got an inventory full of basalt. Gotta go cook it up. Let me go get back to Botania now. Those day blooms should have made enough mana in that mana pool for me to proceed. So I will. Woo, see you soon. And then getting all the basalt cobble cooking up back into just regular old basalt. And then with that, we'll be able to do all kinds of things, hopefully, besides facade crafting. Probably mainly what I'll be using is basalt brick. All right, for the next step, I realized that I have to rearrange things here a bit. I didn't really leave myself enough room up here. I actually should have started on the other side because there's more room there, but I think I can just do what I need. I just got to move things over. I've got a precious little tiny bit of mana that has developed in here. Not a whole lot. I'm going to change that so it's giving to mana tablets, and I'm going to make my first one. This is the battery, how we're going to move that little bit of power. Oh, right. You got to drop this in. Hopefully, I can do that. I can. So now we've got a mana diamond, and with that mana diamond, can we do that? Yeah. You can also do it with a ender pearl, but those are actually a lot more precious to me. I have 15 diamonds and 2 ender pearls, so not a whole lot. Now if we throw that on there, that should suck up that little tiny bit of mana that's in there, and now I can rearrange everything. I'll be right back. Okay, got that repositioned a little bit to make a space here. And then that's going to receive mana. So whatever little tiny bit is in this tablet, we'll put it back in there. So the next stage I want to do is to make a flower called the Jaded Amaranthus, which is a flower that makes more Botania flowers. Thank you, Sice. And to make that, I need to make a runic altar, but this is just building up so slowly that I can't even make another mana diamond. Oh, I can now. But it wasn't a second ago. So I think actually first I need to work on a little bit more power gen. And to do that, I was going to use the Hydro Angel, which is my one of choice, but I told you it despawns now. So I'm going to make the good old Endo Flame again. And that takes the brown and the gray and the red. And half of the browns and grays have to be mana petals. And I think that takes a lot less than making a mana diamond. So I've got all these on me. Let's go ahead and make the petals right here. Oh, I think the tall ones actually make twice the petals. Was that true? So let me see. My limiter is actually going to be the red petals. So I think I'm going to be able to make 13 of these. And so, whoa, look at how many browns we got. I'm not sure how that worked out. But anyway, so half of these are going to need to be mana, and half of these are going to need to be mana. So let's see if I can pull that off. And maybe I should just be cautious and maybe do like 4 and 4. And just keep doing it like that until this thing runs out. What? That was too quick. These are terrible. Oh my god. They turned into thorns already? Man, that is just no fair. Alright, well we're gonna be okay now. We'll never use those dang day blooms again. It's a stick. Dead bush. Ah. Hate you, dead bush. Alright, well we got those just in time, luckily. So let me grab my seeds. Gotta get some more seeds pretty soon too. And I am gonna start making... I grab my bucket too. I'm gonna start making Endoflame. One of those, 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 and one of those. Bam! Our first Endoflame. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. And we'll have some real power gen. Bam, 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 bam. Last one, and I think I finally got my rhythm down. You gotta stand far enough away. Put them all in. And bam. And fill it up for next time. Or else wash all the grass off your hill. And... so now I can do the same thing with these. I'm actually going to think about where I'm going to put them. All right, I'll just do it for now. I can always move it. And so, yeah, we got 13 of these. These don't need to be placed on the far apart like the day blooms did. The day blooms, I had to put them in that checkerboard pattern. But these I can put as dense as I want. So let's put that one right there, I think. Something like that. And let me grab some charcoal. And just to make life easy on myself, I'm going to turn them into blocks of charcoal. And let's go on up here and see how they work. So these, hopefully, since I placed them down after the spreader, should be all linked to the spreader. Let's check out the furthest one. Yep, everybody's all linked to it. So now if we throw fuel down in there, they're going to eat it up, theoretically, and start giving it to the spreader. Let's see how many they'll eat up at once. I forget if each one eats a block of coal. Wow, that's fast. And then when they're done, they'll want more. So I had a system I set up before that automatically fed these, and I'll set that up later. Right now, I'm just quickly dying. I'll be back. All right, I'm gonna have to put an edge on here. But you can see, if I click on this, that it's going up way faster now. Before, when it was hardly registering, now we have a nice thickish blue band at the end there. So I can go ahead now and make my mana diamond. And that means I can go ahead and make my runic altar. There it is. And to use that, we're going to need another spreader. And I'm just going to make 2 of them while I'm in here, because I'll need it eventually anyway. I thought I had magenta ones. I'll just use a couple browns. Doesn't matter. And there we go. We got some mana spreaders. And now we can just put this runic altar over here. And put this here. And bind this to this. And now this will pull from this pool to feed the runic altar. So let me go get what I need to make all the runes I need to make my jaded amaranthus, and I will be back. There was no nether wart in the fortress, so I'm going to grab some from town. And onward. Now I think I can just throw 13 of these at a time, because there are 13 endo flames. That will take a while. But yeah, that's building up again. That's very cool. So I got this set up. I put the hopper above it, like I did before. Not the hopper, the open crate. And now we're ready to make some runes. So we got, first one is the rune of fire. Oh, and I forgot, we got to make some mana steel. So we're just going to take these and throw them in there. And got 6 mana steel so far. I've got 24 more iron set aside here, but I want to wait to make sure that I have enough mana, because we may be making some more mana steel too, if we can. So let's go ahead and click that. So you see a little timer counting down there. Okay, the timer is full and the lightning is going. So to finish this, we just throw a piece of living rock on and hit it with this again. Bam! So there's our runes of fire. That's cool. And then we need the next one, which is a fishing pole, bone meal, and this. So this is the rune of water. 3 more mana. Kablammy. And the cyan lightning again. Rock. Wand. Those. Okay, now we take 1 of the water and 1 of the fire and 3 trees and a wheat. Bam! And I think this was the rune of spring. Go ahead and put 1 of these on. Got some lightning. Bam! So I think we're ready. With these, I gotta turn 2 of these purples into mana petals. So these are the petals for the jaded amaranthus. And then finally, let's go over here. Get my shears. Let's grab a piece of grass. And let's combine that with a piece of redstone. And we get redstone root. And then if we throw all this stuff in here, the lime, the green, the purple, the 2 purple manas, that, and the seed, bam! There it is. The beautiful, beautiful jaded amaranthus. So now we shall never want for mystical flowers again. We put that down, and it has connected to that mana pool, and it is starting to make these already. So that's very cool. I can show you another thing I made, which is the iron scythe from Tinker's Construct. We got some extra runes left over if we may need them. Not sure exactly what the radius of this is. Seems to be smaller than a regular scythe. Maybe it's 3 by 3. But I can just go ahead now and collect petals or flowers. Yeah. So that's very cool. Okay, now it's time for the big reveal. Woohoo! Yeah, and this thing is still having a net increase of mana, so we're definitely on our way. These guys are doing it. The endo flames, like those dead bush blooms, could never do. I have so much disdain for them despawning. Anyway, the grand reveal is we have been working towards this, the vinculatus or vinculotus. And this is a flower that traps Endermen. Whenever they try to teleport, they get caught and taken back to the, I think, the position of the flower. Let's see, let me look it up. Functional flora, vinculotus. Yeah, they're teleported to it. So this is going to keep the Enderman trapped in our little Enderman spawner. And then the other one I want to make, go back, I got to get better at navigating this book, is, aha, I remember the Hyacinthus. And this is basically one that uses mana to create poison, a virtual poison that will take the mobs down to 1 hit. So with the Vinculotus and the Hyacinthus, we should be able to set up a trap where a grinder where you have to kill them yourselves. It's not fully automated, but Botania is going to help out quite a bit. And I think that will be a lot more fun than just setting up a grinder or, you know, some kind of cursed earth grinder system where you just be pulling the pearls out of chests. This way, you actually still have to kill them yourself, which I think is a great communal spawner for people to share, and it's just good for it's appropriate for this stage of the game. So with that, I'm going to get the materials together to make those 2 flowers, and that will probably be good for this episode. And then next episode, we'll actually put the thing together now that we started all of Botania in order to do that. But this is going to help us out in lots of other ways too, like if I drop all those in there, now I have 24 mana steel, and I could go ahead and craft a mana suit of armor, mana steel leggings, boots, and then we can go ahead and do the chest piece, whoop, and the helmet. So now that should be, can I get it up there? No, I got to do it manually. Okay, that should be much better. Woo. Then the other stuff I was putting together, and if I carry one of these around, a mana tablet, that, let me see, let's change this to giving the other way. If I carry a mana tablet around with me, I think this will always repair itself. And then pretty soon, I'll also make the Sojourner Sash and the Ring of Magnetization. Maybe we'll start the next episode with those, and we will be definitely much better equipped because of Botania. So yeah, here we are. standing in our nice field of mystical flowers by our jaded amaranthus with the very beginning Botania setup, all ready to use this to make the Enderman spawner in town. I got my bag full of cooked basalt. So, yep, I will see you next time. Join me tomorrow for that. Alrighty, this is Monkeypuzzle, and I'm signing out. Bye-bye.